following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA Network. And I'm your host, California, for my review show here of Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor on April 1st, 2022, here for WrestleMania weekend, motherfucker. And, you know, this is going to be a crazy weekend for me. Early today, me and Juicy Boy reviewed Impact Wrestling's multiverse of matches. Man, I'm cracking on. I watched the rest of the Ring of Honor show. Hell of a show, I have to say. I was pleasantly surprised. Some highs, some lows. I would have to say in total, you know, well, in comparison to Impact Wrestling, I have to say the Ring of Honor show ended up probably being better, which is something that I didn't think I would say considering how big I've been on Impact Wrestling lately. But it's ROH Supercard of Honor. This is gonna be a whirlwind, man. So I got to get through this because I got to watch the Hall of Fame. Then I have to watch NXT at midnight. So I have a hectic schedule this weekend, but hey, got to do what you got to do when you're hustling and trying to become one of the best wrestling fan lifestyle channels on YouTube. Let's crack on with it. I watched the pre-show. Starting things off, Colt Cabana, Blake Christian to start the show. Props to Blake Christian for also performing on the Impact Wrestling pay-per-view as well on the same day. So good work, mate. Glad that the Ring of Honor commentator has kept his job. Let me just scroll down. I can't remember his name. I just have a hard time with some of these names. You know what? I'll get to it. It's written down lower down on my notes. But anyway, glad that he's kept his job. Glad that there's a good crowd. But man, I don't want to hear Tony Khan's name getting name dropped. We hear it all the time in AEW. Can we please just stop saying, I got this in my headset that Tony said this, Tony said that. Bro, just come up with a commissioner. Just come up with an on-screen commissioner that can make announcements. I say it all the time with AEW. I don't need to keep hearing, oh, Tony said this. It annoys me. Anyway, Colt Cabana's antics to begin with were fantastic. He was totally popping me. He's the perfect guy to get the fans into the show early on. I don't mind this kind of comedy in wrestling because Colt Cabana's comedy is clever and not cringeworthy. Some impressive shit from Blake Christian. Colt's finish was excellent and a good opener. Let's keep cracking on. Miranda Alize taking on A.Q.A. Second time I've seen Miranda, first time seeing A.Q.A. Great back and forth early on. They were really going for it there on the pre-show, and it was just actually really good. And I really like Miranda Alize. And I also like drinking the alcohol, Alize. A.Q.A., there was a botch on the Enziguri at one point, but that's okay. It wasn't a big deal. This shooting star by A.Q.A. was great, but I honestly believe that Miranda Alize should have gone over as far as I'm concerned. But that's just me. Moving forward, Tully's talking about being in the manager of a new tag team, the Gates of Agony. And I didn't even write down who they were against. But it got quite messy halfway through the match against these job guys. Sorry that I forgot to write it in my notes, but they're an impressive team, and it's good to see Tully getting used. And hopefully, whenever he ends up no longer managing these guys, it actually makes sense and isn't rushed in a fucking 90-second backstage vignette. Moving forward, Joe Hendry and Dalton Castle. I was kind of half paying attention to this one because I'm just waiting to get on with the real show. But, you know, I've seen Dalton at Final Battle. I think him and Aaron Stevens would probably form a great tag team. I found it a tad boring. I wasn't very invested in the match. I thought it went too long. There was nothing really wrong with it. It's just, it felt like two guys hitting moves and I didn't feel a sense of psychology, and the finish was okay. Also, to end the pre-show, great to see Chavo with Bandido and doing something, but fuck, man, you know, what happened later on is very interesting, and I'll get to that. Right, finally, I hate these fucking solo reviews sometimes. We start Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor with our first contest. Swerve Strickland taking on Zayne. I wrote, first of all, gosh, I don't really know shit about either of these guys. And I could already see what the match was going to be like because I feel like I've seen this shit 1,000 times. I have to be honest with you, man. Like, great matches, cold matches with no real proper build. They're a dime a fucking dozen. I've seen them 1,000 times. Not doing anything wrong in the match. It's just like, I need a little bit more than that. And I'm hoping going forward things, look, I don't trust Tony Khan's booking, okay? AEW cards, up and down, it's foregone conclusions. But anyway, I could see them cooperating with each other, which I'm never a fan of. There was a bit of psychology with Zayne's knee and the selling. There was a great reverse runner, the poison runner off the apron to the outside, and it was fucked. And I think something like that should lead to a finish. It's just too hectic of a move. Again, today's wrestling sometimes with some of the maneuvers people hit, geez, you just think, geez, what's it going to take? A fucking gunshot to the head to get the pinfall? The shooting star knees should be the finish. And then that's where I start calling bullshit. You don't need to go to these lengths for a false finish, boys. There was the obligatory lazy, this is awesome chant. I wrote down, I guarantee you Swerve wins, the Swerve stomp. I thought it was over there because it probably should have been. Finally, the finish came. The last part of the match was all right, but I don't really dig that style of match. So it is what it is, but things improved from here on for the show. Ninja Mack, first time I'm seeing him, was facing Tully, Blanchard's new someone who he's managing now. Look, it's been a long day, okay? So it was good to see Tully on the stick. And yeah, when Brian Cage came out, I was fucking excited considering the guy hasn't been on AEW television in over 200 days. So it's good to see him actually being used and put somewhere. It's a travesty that they just wasted him so much. What? Because he said something on social media, Tony, and you didn't like it. Get the fuck over it, bro. I'm glad that he's been forgiven. It was a great impact to the start of the match. I wrote this needs to be over quick. 2 massive German suplexes, like the likes I've never really seen before. It was perfect in its execution, and of course a Steiner screwdriver-esque maneuver for the win for Brian Cage. Good, and they need to get him in the hunt immediately. I don't think he needs to fuck around any longer. It's ridiculous that a guy like that, built like that, with that much ability, can't find his way to the top of any fucking card. It shouldn't take anyone that big and that dominant that long, just if you want things to be realistic. Moving forward, one of the best matches of the show, Jay Lethal takes on Lee Moriarty with Matt Sydal at ringside. I still feel like Ring of Honor should stay Ring of Honor in a sense. That being said, I think Lethal is beyond Ring of Honor now and should be in another universe like AEW because he's already accomplished everything there in Ring of Honor, and he should be in the TNT title hunt as far as I'm concerned. The guy still has juice in the tank, and, he can be utilized in AEW, but obviously with what happened at the end of the show, we can see what's happening going forward. I could sense AEW fans in attendance because of just being irritated. I'm sorry to keep shitting on him, but fucking whatever, man. Like, this is how I feel, and if you don't like me saying it, then don't watch the reviews. It was good seeing Sanjay Dutt and Gary Jester there. I really think the commentator for Ring of Honor, he sounds like he should commentate golf. The way that he commentates is like, side headlock takedown there, and by Willow Nightingale, and Tiger Woods is now on the 3rd green. It's 2 over par at the moment. Ian Riccoboni, that's his name. Okay, that's where I had it written down. This was methodical. I liked it. I think Lethal should win the match, considering in AEW he can't get a TV win. I can't help it, okay? I'm sorry. I don't like the multiple suicide dives because a suicide dive psychology is different to running back in the ring than diving at them. Running back in the ring, no. You dive at someone because you're desperate to fucking nail them, or they're not paying attention and you want to fucking get them. I just don't like that spot. I hated it when Seth Rollins did it, and I hate it here. So it's not just Ring of Honor or AEW or anything like that. I just don't like the spot in general. The knee psychology was solid. Lee's kick out of the figure four was very weak. He kind of grazed Jay Lethal, and Jay sold it. And I was like, that's nitpicking, but it is what it is. There was a great reversal of the elbow drop into the Maestro cradle. The backslide was great out of the cutter attempt, the springboard cutter that Jay Lethal utilizes. Loved the fucking low blow, bro, because this told such a great story, right? Here it is. Lethal was desperate to try and beat him, and everything he could think of just could not fucking work. So he had to go to the well that he really didn't want to go to, and he was very disappointed in himself at the time for going there. He hit that low blow, and the crowd came unglued. It was a great win for Lethal. Loved that shit. He hooked me, bitch. Lethal, the selling of himself, being unable to believe he resorted to those tactics was great. And I was begging for him to fucking kick out those crutches from Matt Sydal. And he did it. That's the way Jay. Sanjay Dutt comes in, stops him. I'm loving it. And I wrote, I doubt this will be topped. Well, we'll see in 2 matches time how I'm going to eat those fucking words, cunt. Willow Nightingale takes on Mercedes Martinez in the next contest, and I'm going to fucking rip on Tony Khan again. I'm going to rip on him again because I don't agree with interim championships because someone has been booked on another show. You have an interim championship, and this goes for the Guevara fucking Cody Rhodes bullshit too. You have an interim championship if the champion is going to be out for a prolonged amount of time. That's what happens in real fucking fighting in UFC. You don't have an interim champion if someone's going to be out for 2 weeks. You have an interim champion if they're going to be out longer than the time period that you need a title defense done, which in wrestling law is usually 30 days. So I don't agree with an interim championship. And I think Tony needs to fucking get over this fucking idea because it's stupid and it makes everything look dumb. As far as I'm concerned, you might like the idea out there, everyone, but for me, it doesn't make sense. It's like doing a weigh-in for a match with no fucking weight restrictions. Doesn't make sense. Yet people still do shit like that, Cody. But, again, not a fan of that. It could have just been a number 1 contenders match. Just do that. It's not hard. But I bet you Tony's going to try and get that Ring of Honor women's title off Deonna ASAP, considering she is under contract with Impact Wrestling. And God forbid anyone beats someone from AEW from another company. And if you don't believe me there, see Kenny Omega Impact title reign. He only lost it because he lost it to someone under AEW contract. Like, fuck. And it was a dirty finish too. I like Mercedes and her disrespect early to the happy-go-lucky Willow. I was feeling impatient during this match. It wasn't the lady's fault. It was just I have a lot of fucking shit to do today, and I'm concerned about getting burned out. But look, it's probably going to happen, but nothing I can do about it. It was a nice, even match. I don't think you need to kick out of finishes or maneuvers that a commentator would say, oh, no one's really ever kicked out of that move just to get a false finish for the crowd, who weren't even buying it as a false finish at the time. So people need to protect their maneuvers. Willow's pin after the cannonball botch really fucked the suspense. The OG drop I felt should have been the finish. The crowd were with it. That moonsault that Willow hit, that was fucked, and you could see the legitimate concern she had for Mercedes. And for me, it's just like, that should have been the finish. She's a big woman, all right? Big and beautiful. And she hit a fucking moonsault. That should fucking knock out anyone. If don't do it then. If you're going to have some kick out, don't fucking do it. So are you fucking kidding me? And I thought the Brass City Sleeper for the finish, I mean, it was cool, but geez, I mean, you had a couple of maneuvers that took place prior to that seems like more of a reason to get a victory. But that's the way we got the end of the match. So I don't know. I didn't really agree with it, but clearly I'm a bitter wrestling fan who just pokes holes in everything. Okay, so getting to FTR versus the Briscoes. Well, shit. Unfortunately, because I watched Impact's show before this, Tom Phillips fucking spoiled the finish of this match for me, and I wasn't happy about it because I really wanted to go into this not knowing what was going to happen. But I go from that Jay Lethal Moriaty match thinking it's going to be hard to top, and what we got here might be very close to the greatest tag team match in wrestling history. It's hard for me to say that it is the greatest tag match in history. It will be pretty fucking close because it was absolutely incredible. FTR not following the Code of Honor was great. It made sense because it's their first time there. They're the heels. You believe the hatred between these two teams. It's competitive hatred, and it got to the point of all this smack talk and these confrontations, and people have been waiting for this for a long time. And this could have been a feud that went for a year. I like the Titus and FTR. There was some great realistic fighting and physicality, and it made me think Young Bucks who? Like, this is tag team wrestling. That fucking farce of a cage match, tag team cage match with the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks pales in comparison to what we saw in this. This felt real. I like Caprice Coleman's comment on the Briscoes. They don't need to talk to each other out there. They have a system of grunts. That was a good call. Fuck, I've got a lot of notes here. This match showed that tag team wrestling could draw still here in 2022. The chemistry between these two teams was evident. And for me personally, fuck, if I had a wrestling company, I would have FTR, the Briscoes, the Good Brothers, La Rebellion, the NWA World Tag Team Champions, the Usos, maybe another 3. That's a fantastic tag team division. Fuck Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Fuck the Young Bucks. These teams make it seem real. These teams are this. That would be a great division. Unfortunately, they're spread over a whole bunch of fucking companies. It was fucking wild, this match. And I just thought nothing is going to top it on Mania weekend at this point, heat-wise. This is heat. There was a lot of attention that Ha would have paid attention to Jay Briscoe's cut in his head. I liked it. It reminded me of like Midnight Express versus Rock and Roll Express. There was so much heat. I can't get over how much fucking heat there was, man. Crazy heat. Like it's not often that you feel that. And I've said this about the Briscoes a million times. It's like watching Guns N' Roses perform in the early 90s. There's an element of danger. You don't quite know what's going to happen. Is Axl Rose going to jump in the crowd in St. Louis and start a riot? Are the Briscoes going to start a fucking riot with all the craziness that they do in their matches? The match was a fucking riot. I wrote, this can go 30 minutes and it's fine because the heat was so strong that you wouldn't even think for a second, don't go on too long, which happens quite a lot. And another fucking dig at AEW, that Young Bucks, Adam Cole versus Luchasaurus, Christian, and Jungle Boy, that went too long. Okay. This has heat. This is real. Great suspense was building. It was so frantic, yet the selling remains. That's a big thing. It's not hard. You can be frantic. You can be fucking go, 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 go. But they still sold. It still felt like they were fucking going through hell to fucking win this match. I haven't seen a match like this in a long time as far as tag team wrestling is concerned. Mark Briscoe's facial expressions. I love the craziness with the sounds that he makes. It's fucking great stuff. It's not like it's comic. It's comical, but not in a way where it's like he doesn't feel like he's not taking it seriously like the Young Bucks do. It feels like he's just crazy. That's great. The Fight Forever chant can fuck itself. No one wants to see anyone fight forever, bro. Excuse me. No one wants anyone to fight forever. That's fucking stupid. I hate that chant. Shut up. Redneck Boogie was great because Wheeler knew what was happening and he was panicking. Great work, guys. Good false finishes. The Briscoes hitting FTR's move was great. The suplex to the outside, bro, off the ring apron was absolutely fucked. I haven't seen something that fucking snug in a long time. It looked like it. I can't believe the Briscoes wrestled after this in Impact. That's fucking nuts. It was obvious to me that these guys wanted this to be possibly the best tag team match of all time. I didn't really like the doctor stuff, but I understood it because the teams were at their limit. They had given each other so much and they were just fucking dragging their sorry asses off the fucking floor to get back in the ring because no one still had won the fucking match. When they finally stood up and they looked at each other, man, they kind of did a back and forth like that. Man, I would have just done like a fucking hockey fight and I think the crowd would have fucking lit up. That's one tiny tidbit, one tiny little nitpick, motherfucker. I would have gone with a hockey fight kind of brawl instead of a back and forth punches. The corkscrew to the outside by Mark Briscoe was fucking nuts. He kicked out of that froggy elbow drop. The finish was great. The finish wasn't exactly what I was looking for. It was like 9.98 of my criteria of what I was looking for, but it was a great finish. New Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. I wanted FTR to lay them out, but obviously it's more important to do what's happening in AEW, isn't it? Because they're clearly turning babyface. That's why Tully's not with them, because they have to be babyface in order to work with the Young Bucks again. You can't possibly have shades of gray in 2022, can you? I wanted them to lay them out because you know what? FTR and the Briscoes is the hottest fucking tag team program in wrestling right now. It's the hottest thing and it should be continuing for a fucking year because they can draw money around the country. I'm tired of this one and done bullshit with Tony Khan's booking. If the next match between these two teams doesn't happen in the next 6 months, fucking shame on you, bro. Shame on you. It should be continuing, you know? And if they're going to have them and the Young Bucks involved and it's going to be a 3-team fucking thing, I don't know. You know, this is again proof in the pudding that Tony goes against the grain sometimes. Like when Eddie Kingston had the thing with Punk, and it's like this thing should continue, and he had it one and done, and they both moved on after that. Like with Darby Allin and MJF, you know, he fucking knocked him out with the ring, and then Darby didn't bother about getting his comeuppance. One and done. No, you can extend things, but then you have Punk and MJF's feud extend for way too long. These are the flaws in his booking because he's a beginner's booker. All right. I wanted them to be heels there because they did such a good job being heels through the match before the match. The handshake was good, fine. But then the Young Bucks fucking attack. You know, I've already fucking bagged them out a few times. And look, I don't think the Young Bucks are bad guys. I really don't. I really think that they're nice guys after watching them on the Canyon Duck side of the ring episode. I like them, you know, as people. But I don't like Tony Khan's booking, and I don't think that the Young Bucks needed to be here. Like, it was good FTR came back out to scare him off, but this great fucking match, this whole thing that everyone's been waiting for the Briscoes and FTR, it felt like in the end, after almost the best tag team match of all time, it could potentially be seen as an afterthought because now we're concerned about the fact that the Young Bucks attacked him and that Young Bucks are against FTR this week on Dynamite. I know you want to pop a rating or whatever, but shit, man, like I just don't agree with it. I just don't think it was the time or place for it. It wasn't important right now. What was important was this thing going on with the Briscoes and FTR. You can feel the groundswell of people fucking wanting to see more of this. This thing could go a year. You could do multiple fucking regular tag matches, then start sinking into some fucking stipulated matches. You know, we can do some shit with the AEW tag titles if you get it off that fucking tag team that have it right now that shouldn't have them in the first place. Shit. But yeah, one of the best straight tag matches I've ever seen. Moving forward, okay, we have a high and we're going to dip in this show. We're going to dip and it's no one's fucking fault because how are you supposed to fucking follow that? Rhett Titus defending the ROH television title for the first time against Minoru Suzuki. Do not agree with the result of this one. It was hard to follow that tag match, but Rhett fucking went out there and did his best, man. Second time I've seen him perform, or third time actually. Good belly to belly on Minoru. I like that Minoru was looking impervious to pain and even laughing at him, which made Rhett try harder. You're going to fucking laugh at me? Fucking try this on for size. And he fucking was pretty relentless. I was surprised that Suzuki won, but, like it felt like Suzuki couldn't really lose this because the last few things he had done, like in Impact and in AEW, he lost. So he needed to kind of get a little bit back. And at this point, I was thinking, I feel like it's kind of shitting on Ring of Honor a little bit, which is stupid because he owns the company. But maybe, look, we don't need to pay respect to what happened at Final Battle. Maybe we want fresh starts with fresh champions or whatever. And we'll get to that in the next match. But I don't know. Like, I didn't have a problem with Suzuki winning, but fucking Rhett, first title defense, loses it. Anyway, Wheeler Yuta, Josh Woods for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. We get to the tail end here, motherfuckers. Josh Woods, I've been very impressed with. Wheeler Yuta essentially is a job guy in AEW. Last time I saw him perform, John Moxley beat him in like 12 seconds. I think it was Moxley. Yeah, it had to have been Moxley. Yeah. So I wasn't sure about it. I wasn't sure if I was interested in watching this. I wrote, if Yuta wins, I won't be happy. And I thought to myself, there's no way they're going to have another title change. No way. But the thing is, Woods is also in AEW, so, like he might retain. There was good psychology with that first rope break. Yuta, obviously not used to the pure rules, might be a little bit fucking, it might take a little bit of a time for him to, oh shit, yeah, to try and get away from those instincts of grabbing the rope. So it was good psychology. Ian Riccoboni talked about it going 60 minutes, and like, this is not going 60 minutes, trust me. I understand, but there's no fucking way. Josh is really good and precise. He is the white Jonathan Gresham. I wrote, I want this to not go too long. Yuta's dive to the outside didn't mean anything as it was already seen like 6 times that show. There was great knees in the mid-air from Woods. Yuta ran out of the rope breaks, so that changed the complexion of the match, but then Yuta wins. I think Wheeler Yuta's a good wrestler, but Yuta beats Josh Woods for the fucking Pure Championship. And I wrote, get fucked for all the title changes. You just put the fuck, I know Wheeler Yuta wrestled in Ring of Honor, but he's been in AEW and he hasn't been fucking utilized in a position where he should be winning any fucking championship at this point. It just feels like it's shitting on Ring of Honor a little bit, which again is stupid because he owns both companies. But I don't think every belt needed a fucking change, because it's not realistic that would happen. Anyway, let's finish this motherfucker off. The fucking Ring of Honor title unification match. Bandido with Chavo Guerrero Jr. at ringside, taking on Jonathan Gresham, who obviously won the belt at Final Battle against Jay Lethal. Bandido had COVID and could not be in that match. So finally, we're getting the unification. It's my first time seeing Bandido wrestle. Great back and forth with the mind games early on. Chavo was doing a good job at ringside. I thought to myself, I wonder how Gresham maps out his matches because there is such attention to detail. He gets mileage out of every tiny fucking little thing. Great reversal of the fucking surfboard by Gresham. And I just wrote, who is this motherfucker? He's a genius. The chess match and struggle is light years better than Jay White versus Chris Sabin on Impact earlier. That struggle was boring. This was a great struggle. The stalling suplex was fantastic with the 60 seconds. And the selling from Bandido made it look like maybe it was a mistake holding him up in the air for 60 seconds. Gresham was great with the selling. It was exhausting to watch, man, because fuck, I don't know why I did this to myself today because I still got NXT to watch and the Hall of Fame and it's fucking 9:20 at night. Fuck. The spot where Chavo was kicked out by Bandido after Chavo hit Jonathan with the title belt, I thought that was great. I've never seen that spot before because he wants to win this match with honor. Very nice. But fuck, man, how many people are going to fire Chavo Guerrero in a short amount of time? Come on, is this going to be his gimmick? Yeah, I'm surprised that Chavo agreed to it, to be honest with you. But anyway, it's okay. It really kicked into another gear near the end. There was a kick out from Gresham out of that, whatever the move's called, the springing German suplex by Bandido. It was like this fucking close, bitch. Another fight forever chant. Right there. Right there. Shut the fuck up. It's so annoying. Ugh. Great finish. Gresham wins. And I just wrote, boy, imagine Gresham versus Dean Malenko back in the day. That would be something. That would be something. After the match, Gresham is celebrating. Bandido buggers off. Gresham's on the mic. He gets interrupted by Jay Lethal. Jay continues this full-fledged heel turn. Like that one moment in that match has now completely changed his whole thought process on life and how he's going to treat people. It's funny how wrestling works. He and Gresham get into a bit of a tussle. Out comes Sanjay Dutt after what he did earlier to stop him earlier. He turns heel. Good shit. I like it. I like it. Nice surprise. Thinking that that's when the show was going to be off the air. What do you know? Samoa Joe has returned to Ring of Honor. Nice to see. This is great for Ring of Honor. It's a real fucking shot in the arm for Ring of Honor coming back, having a name like Samoa Joe back. I hope they bring back guys like Low Key. I hope they bring in guys like the Amazing Red. I hope they kind of bring back some familiar names to make it feel like Ring of Honor. I just hope it doesn't get overrun by AEW rookies and all that kind of thing. I mean, they need somewhere to wrestle, but I don't think this should be the place where they're like on top kind of thing. Like, yeah, send them there to fucking work with these guys and get better before you give them pushes in AEW. But I don't think Ring of Honor should be about the AEW rookies, and it should be seen as a developmental territory. Ring of Honor could be seen as like a fucking big deal in wrestling if you keep it separate. I think it needs to be kept separate. Yes, have some people go over there. That's fine. But man, when I'm seeing, I get it. I get the fucking business aspect. But you know, when I'm seeing things like them promoting Dynamite with promos and stuff like that, I'm just like, I get it, but man, like, don't make Ring of Honor become an advertisement for AEW, please. Show the brand a bit more respect than that. It was a great end to the show. And then Ian Riccoboni, I'm pretty sure it's Ian Riccoboni's his name. Imagine I've been saying that. Ian Riccoboni. Cool. And then he's, mentioned that Samoa Joe will be at Dynamite on like, who cares, bro? Like, how about fucking Joe to not explain anything until the next Ring of Honor show? Got to try and pop a rating because it's another game changer. I'm sorry for the ripping on AEW. I'm just so fucking sick of Tony Khan, man. I'm sick of him. I feel bad that I'm like, because I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure he'd be cool to hang out with and play a bit of air hockey and smoke a doob with. But yeah, I just, oh God. It was a great fucking show. I'm going to give ROH Supercard of Honor a 7.5 out of 10. No rewatchability for me, but there were some great moments and one of the greatest tag team matches of all time. And the surprise of Samoa Joe returning to Ring of fucking Honor, bitch. All right, that's it. That's my review for ROH's Supercard of Honor. I'm Californian Fury. Please check out the review of the Impact Multiverse of Matches. Please check out the review of NXT Stand and Deliver, which I'll be doing in about 4 or 5 hours' time. Please check out our reviews of WrestleMania Day 1 with former WCW and IPW hardcore superstar Jet Jaguar, and Day 2 with former ECW star Bay Ragney, a.k.a. Chubby Dudley. Appreciate you all checking out this review. Like, subscribe, and I will see you down the motherfucking road.
Network, that's the way we like it. God almighty. WZWA Network, that's the way we like it. Puppies. WZWA Network, that's the way we like it.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.